Hello everyone, how are you going? And welcome back to some more TikToks only Canadians will understand. Now I've learned a little bit and I've also understood a little bit, and so let's see if I can continue that streak.
It's honestly just one of those things. Your mind doesn't really want to do it. Your body doesn't really want to do it.
Oh no.
There's going to be resistance.
Oh no.
You know, deep down.
How thick is
Anybody
that?
can do it. Like, we get a lot of DMs from people asking us, how can you possibly withstand those cold temperatures? It's really just a slow, gradual buildup. Like, you don't have to start with this. You can start with a cold shower. You just gradually work your way up. But anybody can do it. That's the thing. You don't have to be some superhuman.
All right, Wim Hof, son.
Have to believe that you can do it.
Oh no, that's so cold. He stayed under there. Geez, I know I just paused it there, but I couldn't take it anymore. I was frozen because he's only frozen. Look at him, he's getting reborn.
You can do it.
I mean, look, I certainly don't disagree with a lot of what he said about, yes, it is obviously a mental game in terms of just making that first step and continuing to climb down the ladder, but that doesn't mean that the pain and everything associated with it goes away. If you just aren't used to doing that kind of thing, and your body especially isn't used to the shock of going from, I don't know, I guess outside's probably 5 or 10 degrees at max to then going into 1, 0, even -1 degree water, then you are definitely going to have a shock of your life. I mean, people can actually die from that kind of shock. That's why they have to rug them up if they go into Antarctica. But honestly, the thing that blew me away the most is the fact that he slowly climbed down this ladder. That is insane. As most people just need to, or at least want to get it over and done with as soon as possible. You know, just dive in, get your head underwater, get acclimatized as fast as possible. But he does that over like a 30-second period. I mean, to be fair, even with all of his talking, he clearly does have a bit of a reaction as he comes back up and has this. Like, my goodness, it's understandable, but it definitely shows you that he has a bit to go before he reaches true Wim Hof method.
It's colder than a witch's tit out there. Hey, Timmy, how's it going? Oh, not bad. Just taking off the snow on the car this morning. Yeah, wow. Great weather we're having, eh?
What? Oh my goodness. As well as everything else going on in this entire clip, I can't believe that the one warm article of clothing that he chose to wear was the toque. I mean, I guess to be fair, it is very stereotypical Canadian, and perhaps he's just showcasing a Canadian's true source of power. They don't even need all the puffer jackets. They just wear a toque and it's all good to go, let alone when they're just also coupled with a hockey stick. I mean, my goodness, you just got an unstoppable force. No wonder he's just having a conversation with his neighbor. But look, in this case, I certainly have to sympathize with the Americans, because if I was put in that spot, there is no way that I'd even know where to start, let alone just be able to deal with the cold. I mean, I don't think that my utensil of choice would be a hockey stick or whatever he's using. It doesn't even look like an ice scraper, it more looks like a broom. But honestly, I don't even think that I'd be making any sounds at all, considering that would just require excess oxygen, and that's just going to cool you down even more. And so yeah, just hats off, or I guess hats on, to the Canadians, because they're just a different breed. Once again, what is that? What's that? What was that? Hang on a second. What did I just watch there? I mean, I guess he's got some fresh powder, but then he dipped it in, I can only imagine, Tim Hortons. I mean, I can see that it says some form of chocolate on there, but I don't know if it is just a hot chocolate or if it is something in particular Tim Hortons related. But the fact that he just had an ice ball maker, I've never seen anything like that. I mean, it certainly makes sense that if you're going to be having a snowball fight, that you want to be bringing the right tools to the job, and that is just going to allow you to have basically a production line. That is insane. But the fact that he then just ate it. Oh, come on. Canadian child. Oh. Obviously, there are a few things on here that people are going to be very disappointed by, like, do you ride around a moose? And the fact that she said no. What are you talking about? No, every single person, just like in Australia, we use kangaroos, every single person in Canada is going to be using moose or caribous. Maybe that's what she's talking about. Maybe they were just too particular. They're going, okay, I don't actually ride moose because they're too big, they're too aggressive. We just ride caribous and deers and those kind of things instead. And I mean, to the question, do you live in igloos? They answered no, but to be fair, looking at this guy and him being underwater, I feel as though you probably do want to live in an igloo just to acclimatize correctly, to then be able to do something like that, because if you do live in a real house, so to say, then you're going to be a little bit too warm year round, I think. And to be fair to the question of do you use Monopoly money, I mean, I guess in its literal sense, no, Monopoly money is not used worldwide, but there are a lot of countries, be it Australia, Canada, the rest of the world, that use polymer banknotes, and they definitely are very, very colourful. So I can understand from the USA's term how they would be a little bit upset how the rest of the world uses Monopoly money and they don't get to. Hey, backwards again. Really? Is that a thing? Is that... Okay, yeah. What? Hang on a second. That dude... I don't know how big of a drop that is, and that definitely isn't recommended, but I am confused as to how he is even doing that in the first place from the point of view of house design. Like, why is that a thing? Why does that have a lip above the staircase? Anyway, going back to the questions he has, I mean, I certainly can answer them, but I am wondering, why does your iced tea taste so bad? Is that because I don't have fresh snow like the other guy with a snowball maker or something like that? However, why do you wear shoes inside the house is definitely an interesting one, because I never would have thought that that would have been a Canadian question for the USA. I mean, I know that a lot of the USA do wear their shoes inside the house, but also, to be fair, there is a large group or a large population that don't wear shoes inside the house inside the USA, especially considering there are some cultures, let's say Asian cultures, that are embracing that a lot more. And so, yeah, I'm confused as to how it's a Canadian versus USA thing.
Yeah, we got multicolored money, and Americans think we talk funny, but we still got a kick-ass country. Everywhere that I go, you know I'm saying, hey, if you Yanks don't like us, that's alright now. Remember that time we burnt down the White House?
Oh, come on now. Surely you can get over it. That was, what, 200-300 years ago? I mean, I guess to be fair, nothing much criminal-wise has happened in Canada since then. Especially not from the USA's perspective, as I always hear that the USA apparently has no idea what happens in Canada, but Canada is obviously affected by the USA, and so they have to study what happens in the USA. But once again, we're being treated to Canada's true source of power, you know, just being shirtless in a literal freezing environment, and then just making sure you have a hat on. I mean, of course, he also had the ice hockey stick, just like the other guy did. This guy's also skating, so I feel as though his power levels are even higher, but it is just the fact that he has the hat on that makes him able to do what he can do. Maybe if I wore that hat, I could suddenly ice skate or something like that. Interesting hypothesis. Either way, I feel as though the guy in the ice, wow, there we go, first time, if he had a hat on, he would have no problem just being able to submerge his entire head, and he wouldn't need to make sounds like this. Oh! Just like the last guy. Oh no, that's ridiculous. Cold inside and outside. You're a menace to society, my man. That is ridiculous. I don't even know where he would have gone. Maybe Canadian Tire if they sell it. Otherwise, Tim Hortons. I don't recognize that cup. Either way, like I said, cold on the outside and then just filling yourself up cold on the inside as well. I mean, this guy right here would not have a moment of that. However, I am slowly being enlightened to the fact that not every single Canadian is an alien that can deal with the cold and freezing temperatures, because even like this says, everyone, I hate the cold. The last guy couldn't deal with the cold, and so I feel as though it's about a 50-50 split between humans and Canadians. Oh, is that a Range Rover? Oh no, how does that work? Oh. Honestly, I have no idea how you would go about addressing that. I mean, it's not even like the first one where you could just brush off the snow. Like, that is ice. I mean, honestly, I feel as though at that rate, you just have to get a garage. Just mandated that every single Canadian has to have a garage. Just keep the cars inside at all costs. No street parking, none of that. Because unless, I guess, you get a hairdryer, or I guess people told me no against boiling water. Yeah, I really don't see how you're going to get that handle out. I think we're playing ice, mate. What? Oh, right. How does that make it better? But it makes it free, which does make it better. And it makes it nicer to deal with when you don't have the stress and everything that comes along with just the medical bills of the USA. But I remember when I first heard that Canada has universal healthcare, I was just blown away by that, because it feels like such a cultural difference between the USA and Canada. I mean, they're such similar countries in the grand scheme of things, but on a few big issues, they are very, very different, and it certainly shows. You can't get. Okay. What? No way. Mac and cheese. Okay, that interesting. Oh, the UK, what do you do? Yeah, That makes sense, fair enough. Geez, well then, that was certainly just not what I was expecting, but my goodness, some of these, especially the UK, of course the UK is just putting bacon on something. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised it isn't just a pigs in blankets roll. I mean, some of these actually look half decent. I would definitely try rice burger, shrimp, and beef burger. I don't know how that combo would go. I mean, oh, okay, so it's a shrimp patty. Yeah, fair enough, I'd give it a go, definitely. I mean, for goodness sake, being Macca's, it certainly can't be too out there in terms of flavouring, so yeah, I'd try these. I'd try the McNoodles for sure. Mac and cheese sandwich definitely caught me by surprise because that just doesn't seem like it has anything to do with Macca's at all, but once again, I'll definitely try it. But this one, my goodness, just in case you thought that Macca's wasn't healthy enough already, they just went and added a chocolate burger, and hey, I mean, you gotta commend them on that, aren't they? They're always chasing the top tier of everything. What? Oh, it does. It just goes. Whoa, that poor phone. Wow. That thing was just out of there. I mean, I have no idea how Canadian that is, but my goodness, it is definitely relevant to a whole bundle of people that sometimes you just gently toss it, and I don't know if it just hits a spring, or it hits the corner, or what it is, but that thing just... I think we just found a perpetual motion machine or something. I mean, I certainly feel for the phone in this entire clip because honestly at first I thought it might be some kind of phone case commercial, but no, it was just apparently a Canadian one. But hey, I feel like that is just the most universal Canadian one we've had so far. But no, honestly, once again, all of these videos have just been shining a major light on just the day-to-day life of a Canadian, just from just cleaning off the car, to just jumping in an ice lake, to generally hating the cold, and so many other things that just have to deal with on a daily basis that I go, I have no idea where I'd possibly start. To be honest, I'd probably just be inside because otherwise I'd be frozen to the core because my core temperature can't take that kind of temperature. But look, I feel as though overall I did alright, considering apparently all of these videos were only for Canadians to understand, and I'm no Canadian, but I definitely understood the majority of them, if not all of them. I just don't understand how generally people live their day-to-day lives in these particular wintry environments. But anyway, in saying that, I reckon I'm going to call it there. So thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to do the YouTube algorithmic things down below. Also, if this is the first video of mine that you're watching, then make sure to go check out any other ones I've done. Also, make sure to go check out the original video down in the description below, or hey, maybe even just want to consider subscribing so that you don't miss another one of these in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.